Let's talk about one of the weirdest and most entertaining political feuds happening right now. Joe Rogan versus Gavin Newsom. Yep, you heard that right. The world's biggest podcaster is in a full-on beef with California's governor. It's politics, ego, and social media pettiness rolled into one, like a political version of the Real Housewives of Sacramento. Here's the setup. Joe Rogan, the guy who fled California for Texas faster than you can say state income tax, hasn't been shy about bashing what's happened to his old home. He blames Newsom for everything from rising crime and homelessness to what he calls the death of Hollywood. In Rogan's words, California's gone from the Golden State to the Broken State, a mess of bad policies and failed good intentions. And Newsom, he's not staying quiet. He's firing back online, calling Rogan snack-sized, mocking him as a small man with big talk, and accusing him of being scared to debate. Yep, the governor of America's most populated state is now roasting podcasters on X. But here's the twist. Newsom really wants to be on Rogan's podcast. He's invited Rogan on his own show, asked to appear on his, and even pleaded on national TV. "Joe, why won't you have me on your show?" He's offered the olive branch, the microphone, and probably a sneak peek at his next campaign book. But Rogan, total silence. Not a word, not a tweet. And that silence might be the harshest response of all. For a guy like Newsom, who's trying to brand himself as the polished, calm alternative to Republican chaos, being ignored by Rogan isn't just embarrassing, it's politically costly. Rogan's audience is massive. Millions of mostly young, mostly male listeners that Democrats have lost touch with. So when Newsom says things like, "Where's our version of Turning Point USA?" he's not wrong. Democrats have a huge problem connecting with that crowd. But mocking Rogan online as snack-sized? That's not how you win anyone over. It comes off as desperate, like watching your dad try to use TikTok slang. Rogan's fans can see right through it. Rogan built his empire on authenticity, whether you like him or not. You know what you're getting. Unfiltered opinions, raw conversations, and a willingness to say the uncomfortable stuff. Newsom feels like the opposite, perfectly polished, media-trained, and predictable. The guy looks like he was born wearing a suit. So when you put them side by side, Rogan's unfiltered energy versus Newsom's scripted image, it's easy to see why Rogan connects with millions and Newsom can't even score a podcast invite. Still, Newsom won't drop it. Every time Rogan criticizes California or praises Texas, Newsom jumps back in with a tweet or jab. It's like he can't resist, and Rogan's loving it. Rogan recently said, "Politicians care more about image than results." That hit hard because it's exactly what many people think of Newsom. And Rogan's not alone. Elon Musk, Bill Mayer, Tim Dillon all have roasted California's leadership. The rising crime, the homelessness, people leaving in record numbers. It's not just politics anymore. It's a national punchline. But Rogan's not just mocking, he's explaining why he left. On his show, he said, "It's not that I hate California. I hate what it became." He points to rules that punish the law-abiding, like getting fined for watering your lawn while thieves can steal up to $950 without jail time. He calls that clown world logic, and he's not the only one saying it. People who grew up in California now post videos about how their neighborhoods are unsafe and businesses are closing. Yet Newsom keeps saying the state is thriving. If that's true, why are hundreds of thousands moving out every year, including major companies like Tesla, Oracle, and HP? And Rogan doesn't even have to attack Newsom anymore. The numbers speak for themselves. California's population dropped 3 years straight, for the first time in over a century. Homelessness is up, small businesses are closing, and taxes are sky high. When Rogan moved to Texas, he said he saved millions in taxes. And he's right. Texas has no state income tax and its economy's booming, while California faces a $68 billion deficit. So when Rogan calls it the land of the insane, it hits home for people who feel trapped there. This feud isn't just about Rogan and Newsom. It's about what California has become, and what America could turn into if it follows the same path. That's why people are obsessed with this feud, because it's not just two guys fighting online. It's two Americas clashing. Rogan represents the frustrated anti-establishment crowd, people tired of government overreach and media bias. Newsom represents the polished progressive elite, trying to convince everyone that everything's fine. But people don't buy that anymore. They see the crime, the cost of living, and the tents lining city streets. They don't feel like California's thriving. They feel like it's falling apart. That's why this feud hits deeper. It's not just entertainment. It's a reality check. And here's the key difference. Rogan's not talking statistics, he's talking about real life. That's why people listen. He says what millions think but are afraid to say. Take immigration. California's sanctuary policies have poured billions into Medicaid, with critics saying 40% of emergency funds now go to undocumented immigrants. Newsom calls it compassion. Rogan and his audience call it chaos. They argue it's draining hospitals, raising taxes, and stretching resources to the breaking point. And here's the truth. Rogan's voice travels farther than any press conference. When he talks, it trends worldwide. That's power Newsom can't match. So what's Newsom's strategy? Keep poking Rogan until he reacts. Keep tweeting, posting memes, trying to make it look like Rogan's scared. But here's the reality. Rogan doesn't need Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom needs Joe Rogan. Appearing on Rogan's show isn't just PR, it's power. It's how you reach millions of voters the mainstream media never will. But the more Newsom chases it, the worse it looks. Rogan's calm and quiet. Newsom's loud and defensive. One's ignoring the other. One's spiraling. You tell me, who's really winning? Let's zoom out, because this isn't just online drama. It's a sign of how disconnected leaders have become from real people. When the governor of California is spending his time fighting a podcaster, something's broken. Rogan's not doing this for clicks. He's saying what millions already feel. What happened to leadership that actually works? And Newsom's response? Tweets, memes, and snack-sized insults. That's not leadership. That's insecurity dressed as confidence. Rogan doesn't even need to debate Newsom. He's already winning in public opinion. People are voting with their feet, moving to Texas, Florida, and anywhere but California. Until Newsom fixes what's driving them away, no amount of spin or memes will change the story. And if Newsom ever does get that invite, which, let's be honest, probably won't happen, it'll break the internet. It'd be the most watched podcast in history. Everyone would tune in just to see if Newsom can handle the heat without a teleprompter. But until then, it's simple. Joe Rogan speaks for the people who left California. Gavin Newsom speaks for the ones trying to explain why they're still there. And right now, silence speaks louder than any debate. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, who do you think would win in a real face-to-face debate, Joe Rogan or Gavin Newsom? And more importantly, should Rogan even bother? Because at this point, his smartest move might be the one he's already making, saying nothing at all.